Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. You should like this video, subscribe to the whole channel, and jingle that bell for notifications. We are sports, we are lifestyle, and everything in between. Repping the water tower. Small towns like West Tennessee, Memphis, shout out on the radio, 105.1 FM in West Tennessee, 101.5. Sorry, I had it. Talking West Tennessee, 101.5, catching us on the radio. Like and subscribe. We got a NorCal winner on the PGA Tour. We got a first pro start winner on the LPGA. It's crazy to catch up with the world of golf. We're entering the final week of the regular season before the FedEx Cup playoffs. I have Jake Parry backstage ready to duke it out with me on these picks. We're going to bet on some golf. We're going to reminisce and talk about NorCal more than ever before. I'm sure he's ready for it. Let's hit it. Here we are, final week of the PGA Tour regular season. I got Jake Parry here alongside me. Great to have you back on the show, Jake. Connor Coughlin on assignment. Apparently, South Dakota was hit by some cumulonimbus clouds yesterday to the tune of some 100-mile-an-hour winds, maybe some twisters. And they will rebuild. Connor's okay. The whole family's doing great. They lost power a little bit. So let him get back to it. Ready for the playoffs. He's skipping this week like a lot of the top guys that don't have to worry about playoff seeding. But Jake, great to have you. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Ready. Happy to be back. Ready for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Ready to get out of boring golf courses like we've had last week and this week. So, hey, you know what? You got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, but boring golf courses for what we do tend to help us out a lot. We have a lot of sticky stats that we can play with. There's a lot of predictability with this golf course and last week, which is why we did so well. And we're both on a heater. And you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater, ever.
You do it. If you do it, then you're guaranteed to lose the rest of the time. It's just the math.
It's science. So yeah, let's jump right into the news in the world of golf. There's a lot to cover, starting with my guy from Chico, Cali, the Dirty 530. I'm hyped, and his big brother too. Let's hit the news, Niblick. I want to jump right into this. I'm ready.
Let's jump.
All right, Jake, say it with me. Shout out NorCal.
Shout out NorCal.
So
I'm not even from NorCal. That's the best part. I just love it
there. It's God's country. We are the birthplace of so many goats and industries across the world. Every kind of entertainment industry, music industry, sports industry. Every goat and pretty much everything got their start in Northern California. It's not a big region, but it's the best region. And I'd put the Chicagoland region right up next to it. Honestly, I've been to Chicago. It's one of my top 5 favorite places in the world. So yeah, I'll give a tip of the cap to the Midwest as well because they're awesome. But NorCal is home, and it's the home of Kurt Kitayama, the winner of the 2025 3M Championship in Blaine, Minnesota. He started off pretty shaky, couldn't make a birdie on Friday to save his life, made the cut by a single shot at 600 par. And he went right to the range with his big brother, Daniel, who's a professional caddy at Bandon Dunes, one of the most well-known golf resorts in the world. Brothers on the bag. I competed against his brother in high school, not successfully, of course, because he was shooting really, really good scores by then. Section champion, went to Hawaii Hilo on a full ride. And he, even back as a senior in high school, he knew that his little brother, who was 10 at the time, or 10 or 11, was already better than him. And that's Kurt. Kurt goes and figures something out on the range on Friday night, comes out guns a-blazing on Saturday, goes out in 28. Out in 28, and we're not just on 59 watch. At that point, we're on 56, 57 watch. And then even through 16, he was on 58 watch, which is nuts on any golf course, even TPC Twin Cities. He bogeys 17, makes a birdie on 18 to shoot 59, or to shoot 60, and vaulted himself from barely making the cut to a tie for first. And then, well, let's start off on Sunday with 6 birdies and 8 holes, and then coast to the finish line with his big brother on the bag. And you could tell the chemistry was there, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Undeniable. These guys have always been close, and they're both very talented golfers in their own right. They know their game very well, and Kurt definitely found something on Saturday.
Yeah, it was very clear very early on, like you said, on Saturday. I mean, he came out, gained 8 strokes total in over that entire round, 4.5 strokes almost entirely just with the irons, just on approach, gained strokes everywhere around the course on that day. And like you said, the chemistry, I think, played a big part in it. It didn't seem like there had to be a lot of thought over shots. There didn't have to be a ton of discussion. It was like, Kurt, hit fade. Okay. It's 6 feet from the pin. Great job. Go make the putt now. Like it was really something to watch. Like you said, we were talking about it in one of our group chats, and it was like, okay, 50 something watch all day.
And it carried right over into Sunday's final round, where he built himself a good sizable lead on the rest of the pack. Some guys like Akshay Bhatia had a really bad Sunday and fell out of the running for the championship. Nobody else really went as low as Kurt on the front 9, and it was pretty much over because he had control of the tournament, and he didn't really have any stress until he got to 17, where tough par 3, really shallow green. He just made a 3 putt. It was whatever. He was still up by 2 shots. And, but I can't get over the shot of maybe the whole season was on 14, drives it right in the fairway bunker. It's a long par 4. He's got 191 to a back pin placement, and he sticks it to 2 feet 0 inches. Maybe the best shot. I was already like, oh man, this is a pivotal moment, because if he can't keep it in play off the tee, that approach game won't matter. And it doesn't matter when you're on in a groove like that. 2 feet out of a fairway bunker from 191 is insanity.
I might not put it 200 feet from the flag on the same shot. Like fairway bunker, full swing shots. I will die on the hill that they're the hardest shot in golf. And to pull it off with that level of pressure on that course in that moment, like that was kind of just when I knew that the tickets I had were cashing. Like,
yeah, I was just hoping he put it somewhere near the green, not short-sighted, where he could get up and down and save par and move on. And he completely, 2 feet
on the dot,
below the hole, tap in birdie. That was pretty much the end of anybody else's race to win that tournament. It was a great time. I just had talked to Daniel and Kurt the week before at the Barracuda on Saturday, and they're just so relaxed. They're ready to go. They got everything figured out. And Kurt Kitayama, if he makes putts, like he's like outside the top 100 strokes gained putting this year, but the way he's been striking the ball and making birdies, it's fun to watch a guy that do that well and get his first win in a couple of years and go from outside the playoff hunt to locked into the playoffs.
Yep. I
can't love it more.
Yeah. And like you said with the putter too, like that was really the only struggle he had all weekend. And it really only truly reared its head on Sunday. He lost nearly a stroke and a half with the putter, but round 1 gained nearly a half stroke, lost about a quarter of a stroke on Friday. Saturday, game 2. Like, if you can just keep yourself around neutral overall
for him,
on a course like this, like his overall numbers were 0.2 strokes gained with the putter, but 2.25, almost 2.5 strokes gained on approach, 3 and a third gained tee to green. Like, when the rest of your game is that good, your putter, it's like Scotty. Like, I'm not obviously comparing the skill level, but if Scotty's
opportunity
neutral,
it's the opportunities.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the approach game. when you're sticking it to 2 feet, 3 feet on every approach, regardless of where you are off the tee, putting gets real easy in a hurry for any level of golfer. If you're sticking it that close, like he stuck so many shots inside of 10 feet that it's no wonder why he made so many birdies. 20 birdies over the final 2 rounds, most in 30 years on the entire PGA Tour. Yeah. That is mind-blowing.
Yeah, like we said, it was a masterclass in getting around that course and just doing what needs to be done to win a tournament.
Lit it on fire is what he did. Let's jump right in. Next story, Happy Gilmore 2 came out last week. For all of us that grew up in the 90s and saw the original Happy Gilmore as a young person, definitely right to the veins with the nostalgia, the off-color humor. As actually, I enjoyed it thoroughly, even though I didn't have many expectations that it'd be funny. I was looking forward to see what the cameos looked like. I wanted to see how they built the storyline, which was entertaining to say the least. And again, Scotty Scheffler wins again, best cameo by far. Learning to do the hockey punch from Happy and then getting thrown back in jail for hockey punching the guy on the first tee.
Dude, that when he does the Scheffler, trying to mimic Shooter, and then the funniest part of that whole scene to me is that he keeps his hand as the pistol to put it back in his pocket, like he's holstering it. I was like, bravo, Scotty. Dude, I was the same way. I went into that with zero expectations that it was actually going to be good, and I was like,
this is fun.
Holy cow, this it's been so much fun to watch. I made my wife watch it. I don't know if I've shown her many movies that have made her laugh that much on dumb humor. Like she'll watch stuff and she likes the type of humor where you kind of got to think about it for a second, and then there's
no thought process in this.
No. Zero. It was, here's the joke. But no, it worked out so well. I loved, like you said, the cameos were awesome. Everything from like Kelsey Plum just randomly showing up there, Eric Andre, Margaret Qualley, just
Nelly Corda is a parole agent.
And the other one was I'm blanking on her first name now, Nancy Lopez.
Nancy Lopez was the other one.
Winner. Just the whole storyline essentially being Live versus PGA, just kind of rebranded, and half the team.
Oh, and with the TGL twist too. They definitely combined both of those rival tours.
And then half the team is the Live versus PGA stuff. Oh, it was so good. It was so much better than I expected it to be. And it's one of those. It truly feels like one of those movies to me where if you don't like it, you're trying not to, because it is just
you already went into it.
It's just an objectively funny movie. It's a classic Adam Sandler movie in modern times.
And so they take the half-baked guy on the couch and turn it into John Daly on the couch drinking hand sanitizer, living in the garage. Like, that's so good. Like, that's just John Daly wasn't even acting. That was just John Daly.
I was gonna say that was just him. Oh, so good. And like giving characters from the first movie like redemption arcs, making references to characters that they couldn't make references to anymore for obvious reasons, like Carl Weathers passing away.
Will Zalatoris, that's his name?
Dude, that was, I died. I legitimately was struggling to breathe, laughing so hard when I saw him peering around the corner in the locker room, just
and shaking his caddy just the same.
Adam's happy, just he gets it now.
He gets it now, yeah. All right,
so good. And we got to watch Adam Sandler and Bryson. They dropped a break 50.
Yes. And then if you watch that on YouTube, it's pretty cool because Adam Sandler on an eagle putt tells Bryson to get back in the golf cart and watch him make the eagle putt from 20 feet, big breaker, and nails
buries
it. And all right, so I told you that was savage.
It was also so perfect for me that the best drive Adam Sandler hit the whole round was a Happy Gilmore swing.
Of course it was.
Like it was. You couldn't have written a script better than that.
No. And it's for all of our golf loving hearts. It's just, it warms it so well.
Yeah, it was so good. So good. So glad that movie dropped.
Yes. All right. And moving on to the LPGA Scottish Open, we got a whole lot of Woad. A whole lot of Woad. Yeah. Formerly the amateur champion of the women's ranks, Lottie Woad comes into her very first professional start, and she wins. she's so good, guys. This is the English woman. She's just that good. She's super young still. She's just turned pro, and for day one turning pro, goes out there and stomps the Scottish Open. Just an impressive performance. She almost won a major in her last amateur performance. So yeah, it's business as usual, but Lottie Woad, keep that name in mind. If you're betting on LPGA in the future, she's probably going to be worth a lot of money on the betting markets for any tournament she enters.
Yeah, this is somebody who just turned professional, like you said, is 21 years old and already has a top 10 and a top 3 in women's majors.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about the future of women's professional golf. I mean, we talked about it last, one of the other times that I was on the show this year was right after her performance at Augusta.
Yeah.
And like, we said it then, we're like, it's so like the talent is so clear.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The women's golf is in such good hands right now that, I mean, we're going to have to keep talking about it, because when you compare it to the PGA Tour, it's got star power too. It's got just as much, if not more, now that there's a severance in the tours on the men's side. Yep. The women's tour is solid, and there's so much young talent. Lottie Woad's just one of a handful of extremely talented female golfers. And the fact that she goes out there day one as a professional and just takes over. I remember, was she 17 or 18 when she won the Augusta National Women's Amateur?
Yep.
Just completely torched all those other poor high school and college girls that thought they had a chance. That was cute. Yeah. Lottie's going to take down a lot of tournaments in her career. And so this is number 1 on the pro ranks. Congratulations, Lottie. We're going to be excited to watch you going forward.
100%.
All right. We're caught up. Let's talk about the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. What do you say we hit the caddy notes, Jake?
Let's hit them.
Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm really good at this. All right, we have Sedgefield. You got to say Sedgefield with like 3 D's at the end and pinkies up.
Oh, Sedgefield.
Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro. Final tournament on the PGA Tour regular season. Do you want to talk about Sedgefield, or do you want me to talk about it, Jake? Because I know we know this like the back of our hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say this course has been around forever. It feels like it's been hosting this event since 2008. However, it also hosted as an alternate host site from, I believe, 1938 to 1975. So a lot of history at this event. Very straightforward course. It's a Donald Ross course. You know what that means. It's going to play positionally. You got to put yourself in good spots, and you got to putt well on Bermuda. It's pretty straightforward. Par 70, 7,100 yards. A lot of scoreable par 4s. I think the highest concentration of par 4s under 480 yards on tour. Yep. Just a very straightforward, nice, easy, short course. A course that I feel like you and I could go out. We'll break 100 there.
We'd both break 90 there.
Yeah, which is why it makes sense that this is a bit of a birdie fest course at that as well. And it helps too that, again, we've got so much history at this course. We know what we're looking for here. So a lot of the key stats of focus, again, are just kind of what you expect at a course like this. You got to score on par 4s. You got to make birdies or better. You got to avoid those bogeys. Don't 3-putt. If you can do all of that, you pretty much have everything you need at this course. That said, a couple of things that I do want to point out about Sedgefield. I say this with zero hyperbole whatsoever. It is quite literally the easiest course on the PGA Tour to gain strokes on approach.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean that doesn't matter, because that's still one of our key indicators of success here is those strokes gained on approach. It just makes the elite ball strikers have that much more of an advantage at this event. When you're looking at this course, like we said, all of the par fours basically play between 375 and 500 yards. We got one that trickles over. It doesn't really matter. 2 par fives, 530 and 545, very easy, very scoreable. Par threes, I guess you could call them some of the hardest holes on the course, playing between 175 and 225. But again, it's really straightforward.
Lots of wedges, lots of short irons.
Yep. We're going to see probably the biggest concentration of approach shots that are 7-iron through gap wedge that we may see all year long.
All year. And I would even say 8-iron down to sand wedge, because or even lob wedge, because there's going to be lots of guys that are down there where they're looking at under 100 yards, hitting a little pitch shot in and trying to gauge distance control. And you said approach is important. It's also easy on this course compared to other courses. A lot of that is going to, you mentioned it, it kind of takes away the equalization effect we get on a lot of golf courses where we're going to see the best wedge players make more birdies because they're going to be closer to the hole than the other players. That's exactly. The most important part is you got to get in the fairway, because if you're off the fairway here, that Bermuda rough is not going to let you get close enough to make a lot of birdies. And if you're in the fairway in the right position, you better be sticking it close, because if you're not, somebody else is, and they're going to go 20 to 22 under par in these conditions. The weather's looking pretty decent, softer, not quite as hot and humid as in years past, and the winds will gust over 20 miles an hour, but it's generally going to be pretty calm. Yep. The greens are very undulating, but they are receptive. Yep. They're tricky to putt on. They're not difficult to retain your approach shot. You just got to be so close to the pin. So birdie or better percentage, obviously proximity between 125 and 175 is 30% of all the approach shots in this course. That's huge. That's sticky. We can predict that. We can go back all the years at this tournament. We can go back to similar courses with the same buckets of proximity and see who does best. And putting on Bermuda, of course, putting on Bermuda is everything on this course, because Bermuda is different. It's got grain. It's got all kinds of weird, like follows the sun through the sky. You got to account for a lot of weird stuff with putting on Bermuda. I grew up putting on Bermuda, so it's fun. But it's nothing like putting on POA. It's nothing like putting on bent. It's just putting on Bermuda. It's a totally different animal, and there are some specialists in this field for that,
to say the least. I mean, and especially too, putting on Bermuda, like putting on POA, putting on bent grass. So much of that can be even just true, like course to course. Like bent grass at my courses here in Illinois, they're all bent grass for the most part.
Yep.
Bent grass here is not the same as bent grass in Iowa. It's not the same as bent grass in Indiana, Ohio, anywhere around us that has bent. It's different. Bermuda's Bermuda. It plays very similarly no matter where you are. So this is one of the ones too where we don't even have to necessarily look at recent success on Bermuda. We can look over a much larger sample size, because if you can putt on Bermuda, you can putt on Bermuda flat out.
Yep. Absolutely. We had a little bit of a nuanced approach for some of these accurate guys off the tee. None of these guys are really going to be hitting driver that much. It's just not that kind of course. You got to be in position, and there's not worth it. Like, distance has no bearing on this tournament, because 7,100 yards. The course I play all the time is more yards than that.
I was going to say my home club is 73.
Yeah, mine's 74.50 from the tips, and I'll play the blues, and that's a 72.50. Yeah. So yeah, this course is a pitch and a putt compared to last week, and it's just a lot more difficult to putt on.
But hey, as long as you can avoid, based off of the data I found, as long as you can avoid 3 putts, you should be okay. Which is where, like you talked about, that proximity matters so much. Because if you put yourself 2 feet into a bad spot, those 3 putts come into play quick.
Yeah. All right. What do you say we bet on some golf, Jake?
Let's bet on some golf.
Yeah. Twirl the clubs, baby. Fire the cannons. top of the board, you got some guy named Matt Fitzpatrick somehow lucked his way into a favorite position. I have no idea why. Skipping over him because I have no idea why he's even the favorite in any stretch of the imagination. Let's go to Keegan Bradley, 25-1, playing hot all season. Great on approach. He's a damn good putter on Bermuda surfaces as well. Having one of his best seasons of his entire career as your incoming Ryder Cup captain, Captain America. Will he play? Will he just stay as captain? We don't know yet. But I think he's the favorite at the top of this board to bet on because he's the class of this field as far as like brand recognition and of course form this season. I'll start right there, Jake. What do you feel about Keegan Bradley? Do you think he can win this tournament? And is it a value to bet on him?
It is. It's not often that the second favorite in the field pays out at 25-1. Like we don't get this chance often. And when you look at Bradley, like my model absolutely loved him this week. Top 5 in the field in strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained ball striking, total proximity. He's only lost strokes on approach in 3 of his 17 starts this entire year.
Seems good.
The irons have been a weapon. The driver, I think that's a big part of the resurgence that he's had. It's been a weapon for him, which he hasn't been able to say for good chunks of his career. And then, like you said, the putter has been solid. He's put very well on Bermuda throughout his career. He ranks in the top half of the field in this stat in 2025. It's been shaky of late, but like we said, if you can putt on Bermuda, you can putt on Bermuda. Let's get a guy who's struggling a little bit, put him back on a field or on a type of grass that he likes. It makes so much sense. He's one of my favorite DFS plays this week for the same reason.
He's number 2 in my model. Number 38 is really good in this field for fairways gained for Keegan Bradley. That was a stat that I was surprised to see was him finding fairways at such a high clip this season over his last 24 rounds. Number 2 in that very concentrated approach bucket between 125 and 150, and just every ball striking stat is top. This guy's flushing it this season. That's why we have a controversy of whether or not the U.S. captain of the Ryder Cup is going to be a playing captain. We should have no business even debating that, but Keegan Bradley is causing that debate because he's playing that well.
Yeah, he's like you said, playing out of his mind. Going back to the driver being the weapon, much like I brought up, he only lost strokes with the irons in 3 of 17 starts. He's only lost strokes comparatively accuracy wise to the field in 4 of his 17 starts this year. He's gaining on the field almost every single week with distance and accuracy. Again, it's not a course where true driver is going to come into play that frequently, but when you have the elite ball striking that he's shown with every other club throughout the bag too, and we haven't even talked about his wedges have been otherworldly for the past 3-4 months, essentially dating back to Valero. Every club in his bag has been a weapon at some point this season, which is not something he's been able to say for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, at least. I'm intrigued by Ben Griffin. I'm not a huge fan of how his approach game has kind of shaped up since he went on his tear a couple months ago. But talk me into it, because 25-1 seems pretty sweet for a guy who's having a great season in Ben Griffin.
Yeah. So for me, it boils down a lot to the approach game hasn't been as good, but he's still been gaining. He's still, positive true strokes gained over the last 2 missed cuts that he has on approach. He's been solid with the driver, except for at the Open. Most people struggle with the driver at the Open, so I'm not reading into that too much. And even if when you consider that, yes, he has missed the cut in his last 2 starts. If we look at the 6 events prior to that, no finish worse than tied for 14th with a win in there. This is a course as well that he's played well in his career. He's got a 4th place back in 2022, tied for 7th last year. And this was before he was the Ben Griffin that we've learned to love so much this year. Yeah. And the putter's fallen off. Yeah. It was terrible at John Deere. It was mostly neutral at the Open. Last course that he gained strokes with the putter, Detroit Golf Club, Donald Ross design.
Yeah.
There's something about when I can get a guy like this where I view Like if the miscut at the Open and the miscut at the John Deere didn't happen, I think there's a really strong chance he would be the betting favorite. I think that's why Fitzy is so high, is he's just been so good. 4 straight top 17 finishes. Like he's been on a tear, elite ball striking of late. But Ben Griffin is a guy where we're getting some value caked in because the recent performance hasn't been so good. But again, we talked about it before the show. When you get a guy who's just like Sedgefield on Sedgefield, they typically play pretty well.
Yeah, and he's by far more successful putting on Bermuda than any other surface. That's nice. We like Ben Griffin. I'm not sure about the value at 25. If he was at 30, I'd be all over. At 28, I'd be pretty close to hitting the button too. For me, I'm looking at that, and I'm kind of holding up next to Akshay Bhatia, who has missed the cut here 3 times in a row. And that should be scary for a lot of people, except Akshay Bhatia is having a different season in 2025 than he's had in his whole career, including last year when he took down the Valero. Akshay Bhatia on approach has always been an ace, especially on these shorter golf courses where he's hitting short irons into all the greens. This guy is one of the best short iron approach players on the planet right now. And going from outside the top 100 in putting to inside the top 30 in putting, that's massive, massive. And he struggled putting here the last 3 years. Wonder why? Because he couldn't putt anywhere.
Yeah,
and this
was just bad.
Yeah, and this year he's putting the lights out. He went to the long putter with the not anchored. That's against the rules, but he's
not anchored,
almost anchored, and it's been paying off. He's making those short putts that he missed all of the last few years. And this is a dangerous guy that can go really low if he starts sinking putts on this golf course.
Yeah,
30 to 1 too.
It's good odds. I like him more as a DFS play because of the weekly upside that he offers just in general. 4 missed cuts in a row here is hard to get past. And I get it. He's playing so much better this year than he has in any other year. He's been on a good streak. He's been scoring well at tough courses. I feel more comfortable on like a top 20, top 10 area for him, much more than an outright area. But like I said, dude, the guy's got the upside to just go out there and pull a Kurt Kitayama, figure something out on a Friday night at the range and go out and go 20 under on the weekend alone.
Yeah, it's definitely in his range of outcomes. Who else we like here? Oh, short course specialist. Not doing so well lately, but again, when you get a course under 7,200 yards, Siwoo Kim comes up just naturally. Not a long hitter, but he's very accurate and doesn't get himself into trouble. And on a course like this, Siwoo Kim's aggression on approach really pays off.
Yep. And he's a guy too that, again, just has a lot of that course history that plays really well here. Hasn't been great the last few years, but we got to remember this is a guy who had a stretch here, win, miscut, but then 5th, tied for 3rd, tied for 2nd. Like the guy's got a history at this field. He's shown that he still can be a weapon on approach, can be a weapon off the tee. Around the green, he's not doing anything special, but he's not killing himself around the green. The putter has been his bugaboo, and it's been really bad over the past, 8 starts here. But again, a guy who's got a history of putting well on Bermuda overall, a guy who's got some course history here. This is a sprinkle play. It's not a, go all in play by any means, but he's one of the few guys at this level that I still feel we can kind of extract some value from.
35 to 1 for a guy with his level of success here, despite the putting woes. That tells you what a ball striker he is. And Siwoo Kim, nobody's ever going to accuse this guy of not being a flusher from tee to green. Yeah. And another guy that if he putts neutral to the field, he can very easily take this thing down. 35 to 1 for those odds. I will take it and run.
Even when he won here in 2016, gained a quarter of a stroke with the putter.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for Siwoo.
It does not.
All right, let's hit the mid-range now. I'm going to let you lead off with your guy here, 45 to 1. Tell me about my favorite English golfer, Harry Hall.
I've talked about Harry Hall this year. It's so deep that I didn't even feel that, like I wrote about it in my article this week, and I literally started it with saying there isn't much more I can write about Harry Hall that I haven't written already. Top 10 in the field in strokes gained on par 4s, bogey avoidance, birdies are better gained, putting on Bermuda, and par 4 scoring under 500 yards. Like the guy just fits this course.
Putting on any surface. This guy is just he rolls it. He rolls it.
He is the epitome of what I think of when I think of an English golfer. Like he is just what comes to mind. Isn't a masher off the tee, isn't even particularly accurate off the tee. Like it's nothing special.
He's but again, 93rd in strokes and good drives fairways gained. 93rd. Yeah,
it's just, it's so boring. It's so boring to watch him play, but it's not like a Brian Harmon boring where I hate it the whole time. Right. It's a Harry Hall boring, which is a good kind of boring. And even with the issues with the driver, I don't care. It's a course where driver's going to come out truthfully, maybe
3 times, 4.
Yeah, 3 to 5 times at most on any given week. He's been consistent of late as well. He's gotten, since May started, he's only got 1 start where he finished outside the top 30.
Yep.
He has never made the cut here. I got to bring it up since I knocked Batia for it, but we do get a little bit of a better value here. He's only got 2 missed as opposed to Akshay's 4. But I mean, if Harry Hall comes into Sedgefield with the game that he's had this year, he could be an absolute weapon.
Here's one thing about Harry Hall that I don't find boring. He is a birdie making machine regardless of conditions. If it's easy, he makes birdies. If it's medium, he makes birdies. If it's difficult, he makes more birdies. He's even better in difficult conditions. So let that wind gust up over the weekend and watch Harry Hall take off. This guy is a wizard in tougher conditions, but even in easy conditions, this guy's number 3 in birdie or better percentage in this field. He's going to make birdies. Will he kill himself with bogeys and double bogeys? Occasionally, thanks to his off the tee squirreliness, but his approach game's solid and his short game is probably the best in this field.
And his bounce back percentage is, I believe, I don't have the number in front of me right now, but I remember when I was looking it up, I believe his bounce back percentage is top 15 on tour in all of 2020. Like even when he makes those bogeys, which again, he's been really good at avoiding overall, he bounces back so well from it. And that's exactly what you need. And like you said, let the wind gust up, turn this into a link style course where he's got to flight the ball. Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, that's when Harry Hall's really fun to watch. He's a stripe show when the wind is up.
As much as we hate on Tommy Fleetwood, it's the same kind of thing. Like you give him those, he already has that short follow through. When you give him the reason to have it and those flighted shots, you can see some magical things happen with Harry Hall and flighted shots.
Much the same of his countrymen, also has no top 5s on tour in the last 3 years. So he's a lock for top 40. He's not going to be top 5. I will bet him at top 10. I will bet Harry Hall top 10 this week because I think he has it in him.
Top 20s in 6 of his last 8 starts on tour. Top
he's
20.
Consistent. He's going to make the cut. He's going to be up there. He's probably not going to win. He could win. Yeah. I just don't see it. I definitely see top 10 in his future.
Yeah, top 10, top 20, both.
Lock.
Already, I shouldn't even say I'm going to bet it. I already have.
He's done did it.
The DraftKings money has been spent. That's where it is.
Yes. All right. And I cannot quit this guy. He's got all the talent in the world, and he comes in super hot on approach, ball striking in general. He's not good at avoiding bogeys because he's that aggressive. Luke Clanton, 60-1. My goodness. Another perfect DFS play if you're into that sort of thing. Luke Clanton is 60-1. He's going to get some money from me because those are amazing odds for a guy who can go lower than anybody else in the field. He's in that same Akshay Bhatia excitement factor for scoring. Will he get into trouble on occasion because he's so aggressive? Yes, absolutely. He's 121st in bogey avoidance in this field. Every other stat, he's inside the top half of this field, and all the ball striking metrics are very high in this field. Luke Clanton, if he gets hot, there might not be anything left in the wreckage behind him because he's that good.
Yeah, in his recorded history, so looking at Data Golf, we can go all the way back to his performances, all the way back to juniors in 2017. The longest stretch of like quote unquote bad golf, which I would argue he's in one of those now. The longest stretch of bad golf he had was a 7 tournament stretch. He's just played 6 weeks in a row of bad golf objectively. He's bouncing back this week. This is a Luke Clanton week. I again, another guy I wrote about in my article. I said, I've kind of been off of him for the last month. I'm back in. This is the type of field where he can show up. I mean, we saw it like looking at 2024, when you put this guy on a short course, he came in 5th here last year. He had tied for 2nd at John Deere, another, relatively short course comparatively. Like, this is the type of field that is the perfect get right for him to just say, all right, since I joined the tour officially, I've not been great. Y'all need to remember what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, he was top 5 last year as an amateur. That should tell you what you need to know. And just for the reference for everybody listening at home, Jake Parry's article is found at fantasyalarm.com. You can click the little golf tab and you'll see his mug right there and his words. Outstanding content as always. And he's a winner. That's why we have him on this show, because this show is for winners.
We win.
Connor and I aren't the only ones winning. Jake Parry is notable winner in golf betting circles. So check out that article, fantasyalarm.com. Right, Jake? I got that right.
Sir. Get on over there. Get all pro. And not only on Fantasy Alarm do we do golf, we do everything over there.
Everything.
We got baseball, basketball, football. We got a guy using our stuff who won the Millie Maker twice last year in football. We know what we're talking about over there. Just like Bo. Like, I wouldn't come on this show if Bo and Connor weren't winners. No offense. I love you guys.
Sprinkles are for winners, and I cover everything in sprinkles.
There we go.
Or as some people call them, jimmies.
They're sprinkles.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we're not all from New Jersey. New Jersey people, I don't apologize for not wanting to call them jimmies because they're sprinkles. It's like,
yeah, I've also heard of jimmies being slang terms for a lot of things, and most of them aren't sprinkles. So.
Alligators, girls are wearing jimmies. We got Luke Clanton at 60-1. I am going to take a shot on Ryan Gerard. He's at 55-1. That's a little short for me for Ryan Gerard, but he just did win the Barracuda. So where he's not the best putter, typically he's riding a hot putter right now.
Yep.
And his putting on Bermuda scares me a little bit, but this guy's a really good iron player. Really accurate off the tee. Ryan Gerard, killer instinct, got the good vibes going after going to NorCal and taking down the trophy. I was able to chat with him as well as Isaiah Salinda on the putting green on Saturday at the Barracuda. I'm not going to take credit for him winning subsequently the next day, but it did happen. I did talk to Ryan Gerard and he won the very next day.
You talked to him, he won the next day. You talked to Kurt, he won the next week.
And Ryan Gerard right now 55-1. If he slips to 60, I think you should at least put some top 10 money on him because that's a consistent player who's not going to beat himself, and he's a pretty darn good birdie maker when he's hot. And right now he's hot. Ryan Gerard's having a really underrated good season on the PGA Tour this year. And he definitely wants to beat his fellow Tar Heel Ben Griffin. They've been clowning each other all week, all season, in fact. But Griffin, of course, they were in the press conference together, just clowning each other, asking each other questions. Check that out. That's good entertainment there.
Yeah. And I mean, if anybody wants to question what this guy's capable of for any reason, 2nd place this year at Valero, tied for 8th at the PGA at Oakmont.
That's a big boy course too.
Yeah.
Like Oakmont makes Sedgefield look like the Muni course that I play here down the road.
Makes it look like the par 3 course that closed down in my hometown and we still go play it.
Yeah. All the grass growing out.
Yeah, we don't care. We'll figure it out.
Wildlife took over here. Nature's healing. I also have Bud Colley, friend of the show. We love the Bud Colley story. And anytime we're on a short course under 7,300 yards, Bud Colley goes right to the top of the leaderboard. You know why? Because he's one of the best wedge players on the planet and number 1 in this field in strokes gained par 4. Pretty key stat when on a golf course with 12 par 4 holes.
He's one of 3 players in my model that was above field average in every stat.
Every stat. Yep. And the only one he was close to the middle for me was in fairways gained. He was right smack dab in the middle of the pack. Number 1 par 4s, 18th in birdie or better. Approach top 40. Putting 13th. Putting on Bermuda 13th. I like that, Jake. I like it a lot.
Pretty good. And almost nobody in the field avoids bogeys like he can.
It's true. Yeah.
Like when he misses cuts at events.
4th in bogey avoidance for Bud Colley. 70-1, guys. 70-1 on Bud Colley.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm fully in. I'm fully in, and I'm glad you agree with me because Bud Cully is one of our favorite guys on this whole show.
I get it.
Are you ready to go to long shots? Because it's my favorite part of the show. Long shots are,
They're so fun.
They're so much fun because we're winners, and we call long shots too, just as much as favorites. All right, my first long shot is 80-1. William Mao, he's just so hot right now, like Hansel. Yep. William Mao's hot. Great ball striker. And another guy who, when he's making putts, when he's chipping well like he is now, dangerously good. We called him a couple of weeks ago at the ISCO, 65-1 win there, 80-1 here, and I would say a similar strength field to the ISCO, honestly. That's an alternate tournament in Louisville. It's the same length course, short course. The ISCO course is tougher than Sedgefield by strokes gained to par, even shorter and more difficult. William Mao on a short course, he goes a little big brother on the field when he gets hot like that, because the course for the ISCO was playing tough on everybody, and William Mao's just out there draining 50 footers and sticking it close, and I was like, ooh, this guy's got some juice. And thankfully I bet on him before that tournament started. I bet on two guys that week, and happened to be one of them William Mao, who I also predicted in January would win a tournament this year. Cha-ching!
Yeah, it was impressive. Like you said, that course was playing hard. He's a guy that, again, a young guy, still trying to kind of figure out what he's capable of on tour. And he's shown it. Like, he followed the win at the ISCO up. Last week, he was tied for 7th at 3M. He was tied for 6th earlier this year in Puerto Rico. Like, the guy's got game. He's just one of those guys who just has to, like, I don't know if he truly has like a weapon yet. He needs to find
he's pretty even keel.
But if he finds a weapon, it could be anything.
Yeah.
He could just magically become an elite wedge player, and the rest of his game is so solid that
he's a jack of all trades, master of none at this stage, but he's still in his early 20s. So let's see what the kid is made of. And this is the kind of field where people tend to prove themselves. This tournament isn't just the last few guys shuffling into the top 70 for next week. This is a lot of guys playing for status next year. Mao is definitely in that conversation. He's on conditional status this season. He needs a top finish here to keep a full-time card next year. That's a lot of motivation for a lot of this field. These younger guys are hungry. They don't want to go back to Corn Ferry next year. William Mao obviously locked himself up pretty good status next year because of his win at the ISCO. But this is money. This is status. This is all the things that these guys care about as a livelihood. I'm ready to go. William Mao, baby. I want to disagree with your next one. So just go say your piece and I'll let you finish. And then I'm just gonna vent.
Nico Echeverria paying out 100-1, and I get it.
And I love Nico. Echeverria. Viva Colombia. But
he's one of only 9 players in my model to rank above field average in every stat. Nothing pops on him compared to the rest of the field. It's more that I just don't see a true weakness. The putter can go away. I know that. Much like I alluded to earlier, a guy who was struggling with the putter, who had a really good putting week at a Donald Ross course that plays very similar to this one. He came tied for 6th at the Rocket Mortgage. He's got some course history here. Came tied for 22nd last year. And not even was it just a good performance with the putter at Detroit Golf Club. It was the best performance with the putter that he had since March. Like, you get this guy on Bermuda, and that's when he can be a weapon. The putter can be strong. The driver is extremely accurate. He's gaining on accuracy almost every single week. He's not a distance guy by any means. No. The irons have been mostly strong for the past 10 starts. Mostly. At least compared to the fields he's been playing in. It's not a superstar. It's not this guy is absolutely going to win, but I don't see any reason to not be at least interested in a guy who is solid on everything in this field at 100-1.
Yeah, I get it. Nico is his red flags are baked in at 100-1.
Yep.
He's having a pretty decent season. I have him as number 1 in this field putting on Bermuda. That should tell you what I'm interested in. That's a big kicker. Like that one stat knocked him up to 42nd in my model. I filter my model a lot. Everybody that watches the show knows that I have the ultra filtered Brita picture of the model, and Nico Echeverria is 35th in bogey avoidance, 15th in birdies or better, number 1 putting on Bermuda, and he's bad on approach in one of the 3 buckets. But he's also like ball striking. He's 100th in, according to my model, and tee to green, he's 113th. That scares me a little bit, but it's also like it's not that bad. Like the main stats are strong, the ancillary stats are weaker, so I get it. But I think my main protest with Nico this week is just how much run he's getting in our industry. Like if you go on Twitter, among all the other people who do the same thing we do professionally, it seems like Nico Echeverria is the end-all, be-all pick, and I just don't see it that way. I see it as he's a nice player who putts well on this particular surface. He's not going to have to worry about hitting the ball down there 300 yards because he just doesn't. I worry that we get a little too over our skis, and he's already gone from 100 to 1 to 75 to 1 and kind of back up to 80. So the value's really kind of dissolved and it's kind of creeping back. So maybe by Thursday morning, we'll get a better line on Nico. But right now it's just a lot of hype and helium. And I don't want anything to do with that as a handicapper, as somebody who looks at odds, looks at probability factors and current form. He scares me a little bit. And
he's not my favorite play. That's why he's all the way down here. I'm much more comfortable. His top 20 number right now is plus 360. I'm much more comfortable sprinkling on that than I am as a true outright. But again, at 100 to 1, I've spent $3 in a lot worse ways in my life.
I've done that multiple times today. I like Patrick Fishburne a little bit better at 120 to 1. More of a well-rounded guy. Nico's a great Bermuda putter and an accurate player, but I think Patrick Fishburne, another young, talented guy who very volatile, despite having a well-rounded, to say the least. He's either going to shoot for a top 10 finish or he's going to miss the cut by 5. There really is no in between for Fishburne, but it's his rookie season. That's kind of what we get. Even he's a well-rounded guy, but he's not the best at avoiding bogeys. But 120 to 1, I'll put my bet on the talent, $5 for that one. And then I'll let you wrap up the long shots because I just want to throw in my 200 to 1 guy that I also talked to a couple of weeks ago on the range while he was warming up for his round, Jackson Suber. This guy's having a really decent season and under the radar. Nobody really talks about him. They're always talking about the amateur Jackson Koiven. I like Jackson Suber this week. Jackson Suber's got the wedge game, and it excites me that this guy is so young and so polished on those not full swing shots, your shorter approach shots. He is nails.
Another guy who played really well at Rocket Classic this year at Detroit Golf Club. But yeah, the last guy I've got, Eric Cole, coming off at 150 to 1. This is very much as Bo and I talked about before the show. So he's the horse of the course. You get this guy on Sedgefield, he plays well. Doesn't matter what he's doing.
Every other course this season.
Hey, he played well at the Byron Nelson CJ Cup. That's about it. At least especially over the last.
And everybody loves that course.
Yeah, totally. Well, but yeah, you put this guy on Sedgefield. He plays well. Debuted here 2023, tied for 14th. Last year, tied for 7th. If you do the math there, that's a seven place jump. If you jump from tied for 7th up from that, what do you get? First place. Simple math, 150 to 1. The rest, I don't need to talk about his game. He can have amazing weeks with the putter. He can have very good weeks with the wedges. We just hope the other stuff doesn't kill him. It might. 150 to 1. I'm sprinkling.
So just to reinforce Suber a little bit more, I just looked back at this and I forgot already, but he's 3rd in this field in bogey avoidance and 2nd in birdies or better percentage and 22nd putting on Bermuda. That's surprising for a guy that's 200 to 1.
Yeah.
So
all of that, and knowing that you talked to him, especially after knowing you talked to Gerard and then he won, and then you talked to
Kitayama,
he won. I'm in on Suber. I wasn't in going into this.
I just wish that Isaiah Salinda was in the field next week for the playoffs. If he wins this week, he will be. But Salinda is the other guy I talked to the most because him and his caddy were hanging out on the putting green and just chatting it up like an hour before he was teeing off. And that was the guy I was talking about. We were talking about the Zurich Classic where I bet on him and Kevin Velo, first round leader, and they went on shot 59 or something stupid. And I was like, I thought you guys were gonna shoot 55 that day. He's like, I thought we were too, and we just ran out of gas. I think we started joking around too much on the back nine. He was chuckling about it. He was like, that was a lot of fun though. I was like, it was for me too, because everybody who watched the show was like, that was 100-1 first round leader bet, and you nailed it.
Hey man, sometimes it's all about the vibes out there. And
honestly, it was Team NorCal. Team NorCal.
It's vibes, Team NorCal. That's all you need sometimes.
All right. Who's going to win this thing? And what was your prediction for winning score?
I'm going to go with Ben Griffin. I'm going to go 18 under.
All right. And I will go Akshay Bhatia 21 under.
I like it. I can see both of them happening.
Yep. Ran over a little bit. Apologize to you in West Tennessee that got a little bit edit cut coming your way. But we'll do better next week at the FedEx Cup St. Jude Classic in Tennessee. Where's that? TPC Southwind?
I believe so.
All right. Jake Parry, thank you again for joining us. Check his workout at fantasyalarm.com. You can check my workout right here and on Betting Pros PGA podcast with Pat Fitzmaurice. That's on YouTube already. But it's next week for the playoffs. Playoffs.
Talk about playoffs.
Playoffs. I'm just happy to win a game. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
All right, Jake.
Later.
See you around the bend, guys.